The most commonly heard phrase on the set of Red Dwarf, "Where's Danny?" He's there.
Oh, there he is.
I don't know.
I'm going to sit here because that's a bit...
Oh, you're going to sit there, love.
I'll sit there, love.
Look, Chris is sitting there.
I'll sit there,
very
love.
unladylike sitting there. There's two tables not quite joined together.
Yes.
It's much more manly, Chris.
I'll man spread, I think is the expression.
I thought it was Helen Mirren.
Good morning.
Well, so hello everyone. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us in London, and thank you very much for spending some time with us here in the Gold Theatre. So, how have you found this weekend, and have you found meeting with all the fans?
It was, for me this morning, the M6, M25, M11.
Right.
That's how I found it today.
Oh. Very good.
That's the truth. 4 o'clock, I was in Birmingham, looking up at the ceiling, dazed.
It's a bit better than when
Yes.
Craig and I were at the Edinburgh TV Festival earlier this year to launch season 12. And I was there, I'd flown up early in the morning, and then I got there, and then I went, where's Craig? Oh, we don't know. Then my phone rang, and he went, "Bobby, I'm in Anglesey." And he didn't know why he was in Anglesey. And Anglesey,
like Craig.
if you look on a map, for those of you not familiar with geography, Anglesey isn't really that near Edinburgh.
Different country.
It's a different country.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So he did get there, though. He got there in the end. It was very good.
And I think Chris had a brisk walk from the hotel.
This morning, yeah, it's been very good to meet the fans, as usual. It's been a great weekend, actually. Very busy weekend. One of the, the busiest shows of the year, definitely. And
It's amazing, yeah.
we've still got a few to meet.
best
So we
buzz.
hope to meet those who haven't met us so far later on, after this and after lunch and after photos.
And for all of you now, we're coming up to another anniversary for Red Dwarf, and it's still as popular now as it was then. Why do you think there's been such a lasting appeal of the show?
Yeah, thank
Can't
Yes.
disagree with that.
That's got something
Being
to do
good is, we strive for that.
It helps.
We're-
It's the only
The
thing, you
only
watch
thing I
on
watch
telly.
on TV is great. We've talked about it because it is quite an extraordinary experience for it to have lasted as long as it's 30 years old next year. We're still doing it, and we're doing more next year. And
you.
it
We
just
were all
keeps going.
child
Yeah.
actors.
We were all child actors. Yeah. Hattie was really a toddler when she started.
You mean childish actors?
Yeah,
We're definitely childish actors, but it is. We've talked about it with Doug, and because we always say it's the writing, it's all to
It's
do with
the
the scripts, because they are absolutely extraordinary, and he keeps producing these amazing stories and scripts. And he says, no, it's the chemistry of you guys, and then it's clearly the combination
It's
of
a
all
combination.
those
A
things.
combination of both, and of course, I think a sort of setting
black.
of space it doesn't age as badly as, say, an Earthbound sitcom. So we have our own little world up there, and it just rolls along. So
Well, it is that thing which took me a
Combination.
while to understand, but Red Dwarf has never been fashionable, which also means it's never been unfashionable, which is quite a big advantage, because I've spent my entire life being quite unfashionable. It's been all right.
I'm just glad it's
You
unfashionable.
have worked on it, Robert. as
I've
well.
worked on it, tried to be fashionable, and failed miserably.
Yeah, well,
And the writers were with us a lot as well when I was in it. The writers were with us all the time, so it was like back and forth, the whole thing, really. It's very rare for writers to be with the actors while they're writing it, but that's what it was.
Yeah.
So it's all chemistry all round.
I also think that we're all
This
we're
is
all
looking
pretty much
like-
children of the glory days of sitcom in the UK. And well, I mean, when we were kids, there was a choice of about 30 sitcoms you could sit down and actually enjoy. I remember we used to always talk in the rehearsal rooms that what shows we wanted to be like, and we always came up with stuff like Porridge and Rising Damp, Steptoe and Son. What we watched when we were kids. Arrow. You dirty old man.
I think we need to have a question from the audience, don't we?
Yeah, so if you'd like to ask a question, there are 2 microphones there that are lit.
Look at that.
Please feel free to stand behind them.
Oh, look at that. We
It looks like Mastermind on feet.
Look at that.
Look, there's
that
2
is
of them.
so
Oh my gosh,
Are you
2.
twins? Or are you sharing a brain?
So we'll start off.
Telepathy.
Nothing too difficult
We'll
or
start-
bready.
We'll start off with the Overwatch t-shirted with friend.
Massive fan of Red Dwarf. I've only been watching it about 2-3 years now, really.
Get out.
Yeah. I'm only 29.
Get out. 2 sins in 1 sentence.
Yeah, obviously, look online, watch
Steady.
up all the smeg ups and everything. Personal favourites are Chris's impressions. Personal favourite, Kenneth Williams. Yeah.
I tried to do him
Yeah.
yesterday, and it didn't work. My nostrils have shrunk.
But you see, now the boys are here, he's under pressure.
But someone gave me a Kenneth Williams pill this morning, so I'm going to see if it works.
Think Marylebone, dear.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Matron! Yes, I hear. No. Oh. No, stop messing about. Now, I must take more of them pills. Yes, very good. No, yes, I enjoy it too, you see. You see, the character of Rimmer could never remain like this, you see. So it's my first port of call when I screw up, you see.
Can't beat the classics.
Didn't you do the Blue Lou commercial?
Oh, Blue Lou.
Blue Lou, do you remember the Blue Lou
I think
commercial?
that was him.
you?
I think
Was
that
that Kenneth Williams?
I think it started out as him, yeah.
I thought it was Chris Barrie.
No, if I did, I was drugged, and so I did it, and I haven't got any royalties for it. So,
He's not as good as you.
no, it might have been the legend that was, yeah.
Let's,
Yeah, next one.
This gentleman here.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Sorry if you've been asked this a million times, but what were your absolute favourite episodes to make? And sorry. And what episodes did you find struggled to make or took a lot of effort?
I mean, we have been asked over a million.
Yeah, over it, yeah.
It's very hard to
But unfortunately, we still don't know the answer.
and we still don't know the answer. I mean, one that stays in my memory of being difficult was Demons and Angels. Brilliant
Yeah.
episode, but there were some technical issues that were...
We got burned, didn't
for
we?
once,
with the-
not our fault. There were some issues.
Some squibs that burnt us and stuff.
There were some squibs. Yeah, so we got some injuries. We got some burns. Danny and I got a bit burnt. I burnt my inner thigh. Which is not an area
How
you
did
want to
it
get
get
burnt.
there?
Still got a scar. And we had to reshoot a lot of it. Didn't we?
Pins in my
Pins?
upper thigh.
Yeah.
From Demon's costume. That was
transvestite.
made in about 5 minutes, and Howard was very apologetic about it. I'm so sorry, Chris.
I'm so sorry, Chris.
A few pins left in there. I hope they don't go in the wrong place. And they did. But, Demons and Angels.
Ace Rimmer.
Stasis leak was one that I never got my head round. I just sort of... Rimmer's head comes out of the table at the end, and I said, why? I'm sure I didn't get a straight answer, but I've said to many people this week, Dimension Jump and Marooned were 2 of my favourites.
That's because me and Bobby weren't in it.
That's not true.
We were in Dimension.
Well, we came in at the end, just sort of. We were like the sprinkling on the icing on the cake.
Craig and I missed you.
I know.
Yeah.
We really did.
No, they were. They were.
No, it was a great
brilliant
episode, actually. That was shot on literally 5 handheld cameras.
Yeah.
That was all handheld. All the cameramen had them on the shoulder. So there was, if you look at the shots, it's slightly moving, all the shots. And it was extraordinary to look at, just seeing these guys all with the cameras on their shoulders, because usually we are on tripods sweeping around. But because it was so, 2 guys just sitting around a dustbin, Ed By. Genius.
Yeah.
Good.
Certainly, more recently, Siliconia was an extraordinary one to do.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that we're all in masks. But the thing that I remember most, thinking, God, this is so weird, was the mechanoid therapy group.
That guy was
let's repeat after me. We do not have funny shaped heads. The guy,
He was brilliant.
He was such a brilliant actor.
That guy was brilliant. I was
his name.
laughing my head off because I never saw that bit get
Yeah,
filmed.
it was lovely. And
He
I
was
actually,
great.
I actually felt quite emotionally moved when I was doing it. I'm
Yeah,
going, hang
but
on. I
he
actually,
had it nailed down, didn't he?
he had it. So I went, oh, he's right. We don't have funny shaped heads. They were really good.
He was
those
great,
things.
that guy.
And Lemons in season 10 was
Lemons.
Yeah. Lemons was great.
Jesus. I beg your pardon.
What?
Great
That
episode.
was great.
Yeah, that was fun.
But he was warned that he was going to get a woofer on that.
He was warned.
Because he didn't understand it. He said, man, as soon as you say yes, the roof's going to come off. And Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that was the other one. The other one. That was one of my favourites because all props on Red Dwarf are props. You know, like they don't really do much. Oh, I think the matter paddle probably could work, sir. But you know, on that one it was weird. The lemon batteries, so the batteries with the zinc nails and the copper coins and the wires, actually generated a voltage. Do you remember that day? And Ed, the cameraman, had his little voltmeter, and it was like 0.9 of a volt. You know, so then Danny and Ed worked out how many lemons we'd need to drive my electric car, and it was like 19 tons of lemons in a trailer, and I'd be able to drive 4 miles with that many lemons.
Before the next charge.
Before you have to replace your lemons.
Replace your lemons.
Go ahead, sir.
I've got a bit of a question and a tiny request as well. The question is, if hypothetically, at the beginning of the series, you were told to play different roles, who would you most like to play if you switched roles?
So difficult.
Well, it's not fair because we've all done Kryten now.
Yeah.
You've all done Kryten. You don't
I
need to
wanted
do
to do
that.
Kryten. And I've always said that I wanted to do Kryten. But I've done it now, so I'm looking for another character. Might do Hattie next.
What character?
The sexy secretary.
Melly.
Melly.
You know what side your bread's buttered?
You want to be covered in maple syrup.
Delicious.
I don't know, because I don't think I've got the skill set to do anybody. I think Kryten's the limit of my abilities. I can't imagine being able.
I think you could do. You'd probably do a good captain.
Might be able to do Hollister. Yeah,
Hollister.
Captain Hollister. Yeah,
That'd be a good challenge.
yeah.
Trying to get the weight on.
Now we've all had a go at Kryten, I don't want to do him. I just, Bobby deserves, I've said this so many times now, but he deserves the big bucks.
He deserves at least an OBE.
For going through what he does 35 to 40 times a series. And we went through it twice, and I was ill on the first day.
I tell you, I was
Prison
sick
of
as
latex, the fumes. No, Bobby deserves top dog for
It's
that.
just the strangest feeling.
I couldn't do what Danny does. I just don't have it built in the right places.
It heals in him now.
I'd still look scruffy in those outfits. So I'd have a go at Lister. I think I'd like to.
Yeah, that'd be a good Lister.
Nice.
I am genuinely quite disorganised and scruffy at home, so there's a bit of a start. And I auditioned for Lister way back in the 80s when the show first started, and Rimmer was more appropriate character for me, apparently. Don't know why that is. So yeah, I'd have a go at Listy.
That kind of brings me to my request, really. One of my favourite scenes in the whole of the series is when Kryten is getting jealous and upset over Kachansky. I was just wondering if you'd be able to reenact apart from that scene for us.
He doesn't want much, does he, Bobby?
Sir, what do you see in her with all those unnecessary inny and outy bits? You love her!
Genius.
Absolutely amazing. Right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Next.
As a lifelong fan of the series, I would just like to say, Chris, Rimmer, you're a total smeghead. I had to get that out there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's a compliment to him.
Fair enough.
A total one?
A total one.
But also, if you had the luck virus for one day, how would you use/abuse this power?
The luck virus. Yeah.
Me?
Yes, I think that was you. That was definitely to you, Chris.
Yeah, Chris or Rimmer?
We don't have to answer that one.
Yeah, it was just to you.
Stop it.
How would Chris Barrie use the luck virus?
Or Rimmer.
Or Rimmer.
Or Rimmer?
We know what Rimmer would do.
Yeah.
Well, I'd be an officer for more than a nanosecond. Me, personally, Chris, me. I just don't know. Oh God, I don't know.
To be honest,
probably buy a few. Something predictable. Buy a few more cars.
Yeah.
With
Buy.
gas-guzzling petrol engines.
Yeah, just have them.
Buy them. Yeah, find them.
Buy them. It's
Just
tough.
have them. You
Find
can have them
trip
given
over.
to you. They just be delivered.
Yes. Yes. Goodness me, I'd probably do actually thinking it through what most people would do, and that's just try and have the luck of joyful happiness with my family and friends for a few decades more.
Oh,
There we go.
nice. Thank you.
Pass the vomit bag.
Yes. But you could also say, I mean, I think that in a way we've all had it, in a way, because to be in a sitcom that's lasted as long as the one we've been in, that's a bit of luck virus there, because that's quite unusual to get that chance. So.
And luck over
And luck.
talent.
Yeah, definitely, with me, definitely luck over talent. Bloody hell.
Hey, sorry. First of all, can I just say I'm a massive fan of the show. I wasn't born when it came out, but
Yeah, all right, rub it in.
my parents showed it to me, and it's absolutely amazing. But what's the most traumatic experience you've ever had on Red Dwarf?
God, there's been quite a few.
Being co-produced by a guy who wasn't born before Red Dwarf started.
Yes, our lovely producer now, Richard, when he was an extra in the episode where we go back to medieval world where he becomes Lister of Smeg. I can't remember I can't remember the name of the episode. And he does jousting with the donkey and that episode. And in the crowd scene, there was this little lad in medieval clothes, little boy. This was actually Doug's son. And Craig and I were standing in front of the crowd, and they said, "Oh, move back a bit, move back." So I stood on this poor little kid's foot. I had no idea it was there because I was on grass, and he didn't make a fuss. Richard just sat there going, this must be what's meant to happen when you're on telly. Big bloke treads on your foot, and you just, poor kid, he still remembers it now. He's still traumatized by it. So, yeah, and now he runs the show. So there we go.
Yeah.
The Lister and Ace sort of outside in the howling wind.
The wind.
Yeah, that was fairly, yeah.
I
Lots
love
of people
that.
pouring water onto us with this VW-powered wind machine blowing a force 10 gale at us, and the water coming in while we're trying to speak, and Ace trying to be cool. I kind of nearly drowned. That was a bit traumatic, but according to Rob and Doug, it looked great.
That's my favourite bit.
Me and Robert in Marooned at the end when he's got the reins between his teeth, and I've got the whip cracking around his ear holes. There's a 2-litre Volkswagen Beetle engine with a fan on the end of it blowing soap suds at us.
That was my first ever day's filming. That was the very
first thing. Robert's getting soap flakes in his eyes,
and I couldn't. That was the very first production mask I'd had on in it, and because they were so anxious to get it to look right, they used so much makeup that my eyes were stuck open. So I couldn't blink. And if you think you can't blink, and then let's blow snowflakes into soap flakes
200 miles an hour.
At 200 miles an hour. Yeah, that was. I was thinking this is quite a tough gig. I'm not sure I should have said
or when
yes.
we got shot with the blaster.
And we got shot with blasters.
That
yeah.
big thing.
Oh God, yeah. You had cork embedded. I had cork embedded in the back of my head.
Embedded in his head.
Yeah.
This
No, we've
big
had a few.
blaster. So it goes right. They choreographed the squibs. So there was 4. So we had to go like, okay. So Peter Ragg.
Yeah.
Peter Ragg. Well,
Peter Ragg. Yeah.
First you look first that way, then you look that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course the wires were crossed. So we went, grab, boom.
Yeah. Right in your face. Turn the other way. Boom.
Boom. All this cork stuff was stuck in his head.
But then the one I do remember, which was when my wife played Camille, when Judy Pascoe played Camille, and she saves me from a gangway when I fall down. So I was on a harness, a comfortable special climbing harness that goes around a gentleman's lower regions, and it had not been put on quite right. I don't know how else to say it. So it was a little bit uncomfortable. So I was hanging from a wire from the roof, and I made a minor complaint. And my beautiful and very empathetic and caring wife said, shut up, mate, you make such a fucking fuss. So, yeah, that was fairly traumatic. I haven't got over it yet, 30 years later.
Judy's lethal.
Yeah,
she's a
enough,
formidable lass. Yes,
good.
That's probably
there's so many
horror
traumas.
films.
We could talk about traumas for years.
Yeah.
It's mostly fun.
Sir.
I love the show. Watched it since I was about 7. I've always really loved the alternate characters the characters have, like Ace. But I have to ask, Danny, can you do Duane Dibbley without the teeth?
Duane Dibbley? I don't want to be Duane Dibbley. He's a dork. It's much better with the teeth, though.
Yeah, we all love Duane.
The teeth make the voice, really. Because you have to overreach everything, and it makes your palate sort of change weird shapes.
Yeah.
Because you've got such a big mouthful of teeth that everything, that's why he gets like this, because it goes up in your... So he's kind of little whiny, little those whiny guys. Yeah, I don't want to be doing him. Some those whiny kids at school.
Sideways,
Shut up, Duane.
I loved Sideways Ironed Flares. That was always my favourite.
And,
Very funny.
kind of like...
Listen to him, he's nobody.
A bit like Chris at the Goodwood Festival, really.
Yes, can I borrow those for next year, please?
A nice bit of plaid.
Nice bit of, yes.
Hi panel, I think it's so wonderful to be here and celebrate the creativity and collaboration of sci-fi writers. So being in the field where you can have crossovers, just never know what to expect. So I was going to ask the panel, what would your thoughts be on a Red Dwarf Coronation Street crossover?
We already did that.
We've already done it. Yeah.
We did it,
Great, well done.
Sorry for the brevity of that answer.
Yeah, but it was Back to Earth.
Back to Earth was, when we first started
We went to
doing
see the actor.
Red Dwarf, yeah. We never thought we'd ever, in 1988, we never thought we'd find ourselves on the set of Coronation Street on the cobbles.
Especially without 6-inch stilettos.
Exactly, yeah. Og saying quality to
Quality.
Michelle.
But you got to give it to those girls, because I worked a day on those cobbles in sort of Cuban heels like that, and my whole back when I got home that night was killing me working on those cobbles. Those girls are walking around in 6-inch stilettos on them. I just had to say fair game to them.
Respect.
I couldn't last a day on Cuban heels.
I want to hear the question from this
man here.
Over here.
Hold on.
Can't see.
There you are.
Here he comes.
Step into the light.
Hey, so one of the things I always loved were the environments, like Starbuck and the quarters and so on. So which were your favorite sets to work in?
Starbug Cockpit is always a favourite, because it's kind of, I think it's the positioning of it, because in a way it reminds me of school. So I wasn't the really naughty boy, but the really naughty boys who sat at the front made me laugh, but then they'd know how to play it, so they didn't laugh when the teacher saw them, and I'd be laughing and I'd get in trouble. I hadn't done anything. I was just snickering at the back. So I'm like so there is an element of that kind of, the humour that we get
Craig
with
and the
each other
cat.
there. Is
Craig and the cat are in the front, so the teacher can keep an eye on them.
Yes.
Not because they're clever.
I find Starbuck quite a hot environment.
It's quite hot.
It's hot.
And actually, watching Series 12, this is something interesting. I'm only just in shot.
Yeah.
That annoys me slightly. I'm going to have to take that up with the powers that be. Can I be a little bit more in shot?
Yeah. That's true. You're very often right on the edge of frame.
Yeah, I'm on the edge of frame.
But he said
about that.
He said to Doug he wanted to be edgy this season. Bit more
wanted to be
edgy.
edgy.
Bit more edgy.
Not that kind of edgy,
I want
Dan.
Rimmer to be a bit more edgy.
No, sleeping quarters. Bunk on the bunk with Listy, having an argument.
But that's always where the strength of Rimmer and Lister has always been the bunk room for me, and I see that as the porridge part of the show, which we kind of all loved the bunk. Even when the cat used to come into the bunk scenes, it was like he was like this unwanted visitor.
Yeah, you'd be lying on the the top there. Yeah,
come in and touch your stuff.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I said, don't touch my things.
Yeah, look, the sleeping quarters, obviously, and more recently, the science room is quite.
Science room.
But some classic scenes have occurred in the corridors. To be honest with you.
A lot of scenes in 11 and 12 were in the corridors, and we did some.
We love a good corridor scene.
Ambitious scenes, but I think Yeah, I think a variety really. The whole set really is great fun. It's just great fun as you hope you're getting, that we just love working on it, you know.
Captain America.
I'm a bit too small.
Exactly.
I'm a massive fan of the show. I'm only 17 and I've seen every single episode. I was just wondering, with the episode which just came out on Thursday, what was your first reaction when you found out about Planet Rimmer?
I thought, about bloody time.
I was dreading another Rimmer song. Black Friday.
That was actually a tricky scene to shoot, because that was on the blue. Going back to the sets, that was against green or whatever it is. And it was sort of like a little beach thing we did. It was quite, so, you know, we were sort of acting against nothing really. So, and, you know, it was quite a busy afternoon.
Yeah, it was. We were getting a little bit tetchy.
I think everyone was
a bit tetchy, because we were talking to God all day.
But it was well worth it just to hear Lister sort of say, "Yeah, Planet Rimmer, so full of gas," you know, or whatever he said. But yeah, no, it was good. Good. I thought, yes. Why has it taken us 30 years to get to a planet called Rimmer?
We needed one beforehand.
Yeah.
Quiche Man.
Step into the light. There we go.
Give Quiche a chance.
Yes.
Talk of the devil.
So, will we ever see Duane Dibbley or Ace Rimmer ever return?
I wonder.
I think, I don't know, mate. Doug, he doesn't really like repeating himself. That's the problem. Even if it's warranted, it's kind of grates against him. Because I kind of had a sort of bit quick chat about it, because everyone always asks, Doug, man, I need to answer this question. It's getting crazy.
Yeah.
But he kind of doesn't say no, but he doesn't say yes. But I believe that he kind of doesn't like going back on and regurgitating gags. Though Duane did appear twice, and so did.
But that's Doug all over. I say to him, "Will Ace or Duane?" Because you know, I get asked the same question, you know, about Ace and Duane, you know, and I've asked Doug, and Doug has done the relatively predictable Doug. Yeah, no,
They go no to me, and then yes
there'll
to
just
me
be
and
a succession of yeses and nos. Quickly to count how many of each.
Yeah.
And so
try
we
and work out what the answer is. Yeah.
Exactly. We don't know, but as Danny said, he doesn't like necessarily to sort of bring back the past. But if there's a good reason for it, you know,
we'd have to sort of maybe prompt him with the right sort of
Yeah.
storyline, maybe.
Yeah.
But then that opens the doors for all the other characters to reappear. I mean, I think Jake Bullet is just, he should appear.
I've always wanted to do Jake Bullet. He was
Jake Bullet was. I think he should turn up. You know.
Yeah.
Just, you know, every now and then.
It's that, because I can often, as my fellow cast members will confirm, tend to forget the odd line here and there during a recording. I don't know if you've noticed, Chris, probably never.
Not us.
But for some reason, that one, and if those pen pushers at City Hall...
He was rocking.
think they can push me, they can spin on this mid-digit till they squeal like pigs on a honeymoon.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Always remember that one, I don't know why.
Yeah. It's classic.
So to answer your question, yes, we always put it forward to every series, you know, that it'd be nice to have Ace and Duane back somehow, or even a spin-off series. And so, and it'd be nice to, from my own point of view, and I'm sure from Dan's point of view, it'd be nice to play those characters again. So who knows? We'll see.
I'd like to get stuck into him again. The teeth. You know?
Get those teeth in.
Get those teeth in.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I've always wondered, I love the show, I've always wondered, what is it actually like to wear the Kryten suit?
It's uncomfortable and hot and those, you know, but I've kind of got used to it, so it's sort of, it feels right, you know, when it's one of those things where it just, as soon as you got it on, you're Kryten, and there's not really much you can do about it until you take it off, you know, so it's kind of, it defines the character to a huge extent, so but it's not something you choose to wear casually to go out with your mates in the evening. What shall I wear, jeans and a t-shirt or the Kryten suit? I'll go with the jeans and t-shirt. Well, it's plastic and rubber and Velcro and God knows, a lot of stuff. It now has a zip. which I can tell you is a massive benefit.
30 years to put a zip in.
Took 30 years to get a zip.
And of course, we can verify that Danny and I, having worn a version of the Kryten suit, I do prefer Rimsey's costume.
Yes.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, I prefer the cat.
I prefer my black
Superman
jumper.
Ish.
This is a question for Chris. As I didn't get a chance to ask it at NorCon, because as you're probably aware, as soon as you entered on Saturday, the line was massive. So, who do you prefer playing, Arnie or Arnold Rimmer, or Ace Rimmer?
Well,
Ace.
I've been asked that probably within the last hour and a half, actually, and it was a great release to play Ace, because, you know, Rimmer is a total smeghead who's completely resigned to uselessness for many lives, and his whole death and life and everything is a complete mortal failure. So suddenly to be someone who's great at everything and very popular and has a sort of, you know, deep voice, as opposed to a squirmy, high, whiny, thin voice, was actually a great release. But if Rimmer was always Ace, he'd get in your pecs. You know, he'd get on your nerves after a while. So, really, ultimately, I prefer to play good old Smeghead Rimmer.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm a big fan of the show, as is pretty much most of my family. I've basically grown up watching the show for my entire life. And you've probably been asked this question like a million times before, but what's like your favourite line that you've ever had to say on the show?
Fish.
Fish.
I'm sorry, Bobby, you're looking at
right,
me and I'm looking at you.
Okay, are you sure you want to step up to red alert, sir? It does mean changing the bulb. That was the fave.
Everyone a winner.
It's you know, we've all had such great fun lines, haven't we? I mean, but the one that comes to mind is, it's my duty as a complete and utter bastard.
I think Hattie said hers earlier.
I said, what was my one? Yeah. A wooger or something?
A wooger.
No, the syrup one. What is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Maple syrup?
If you want me, I'll be in my quarters covered in maple syrup.
That's visual.
Which is not strictly a Holly line, even.
I did mine already.
Nah.
Fish. What's funny about that? Come on. What's funny about fish? What? I haven't worked it out. I really do sit there and think, what is so funny about the word fish?
I think it's the context.
Context,
Yeah.
Doug, but he's put it in that context
Yeah.
to make it funny. And then to say it 5 times on the trot and everyone laugh at every one, it's just bizarre. Okay, you got it the first time, okay? Fish! And I'm at the scene doing it, thinking, this is crazy. I'm actually thinking in my head. The third one, I'm thinking in my head, they're not going to laugh on the third one. This is going to die a death. Fish! Whoa, this is crazy. It's the easiest gag, the easiest, shortest gag that I've ever had to say in my life, and probably the most famous.
I like the hippie Rimmer one, when he loses all his... When he's got his placard.
The quiche man, he was over there, yeah.
Yes, David, let's put that on the back burner.
With the pipe.
Great, I love that one.
That was so funny.
It was almost a little bit like the late Tony Benn, wasn't
Yes, it was. It was very Tony Bennish.
With the pipe.
With the pipe, yeah.
Who's next? My man over there.
So kind of similar to the last question. So being from like a family who's like my
Can you step
parents-
closer to the microphone?
Sorry. My parents like brought me and my sister up on Red Dwarf, and so like using quotes from it is a regular occurrence. So are there any like quotes that come up in everyday life for you from the show?
I mean, certainly a favourite of mine, because it just really tickled me, was yours, Chris. Was the when you were leaving Red Dwarf, and that speech. Over the years, I've come to think of you all as people I met. I just love that.
Yeah,
My favourite is the Helen Shapiro wig. That was my favourite Rimmer scene. a little bit too Green Beret, all that. Says, Holly, what have you done with my hair? I look like a complete and total tit. Classic.
Yes. Yeah.
With the big bouffant hair.
All you need is a shiny pair of shoes and short back and sides, and you can cope with anything. That's my father said before all that suicide business.
Where does that come from?
It's look, it's so many.
There's too many. I mean, you could literally.
Some of the Space Corps directives of
Space Corps
Kryten
directives,
brilliant.
great,
You know?
Never mind all the stuff that had been cut or had been cut out because the show was too long.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff still around that nobody's ever seen even.
Yeah.
And Betty and.
Betty
Wilma.
and Wilma.
The Wilma and Betty. Oh, God.
This is the previous question, though. This is what we use in real life. This is the
Yes.
question. You do the Betty and Wilma in real life.
Oh, I didn't hear the real life.
The real life bit. What was that about?
Real life.
There's no real life in science fiction. Allegedly.
I do when they come. Sorry, I do when they come round and say, "What would you like for lunch?" And I say, "Nothing bready." And I realise I'm talking the lines.
Something hot.
No muffins.
We've had this mentioned several times already today. People saying that I've been brought up on Red Dwarf. Now, what is it like for all of you to hear that? Because it's very rare that a show actually is kind of something that's shared amongst the family going up through generations. So what's it like for you to
I think
be
we're
part
on
of
the
that?
third generation now, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think we're on the third generation.
Woo!
Yeah, they are. They are the third generation sitting in the front row.
It is
Eager, you see.
extraordinary. Yeah.
As the first generation all sitting in the circle up there, like, oh, we've seen them before.
It's wonderful for us to meet young people who, I met a couple yesterday with their son who would have been, 17, 18-year-old son. And they worked out while I was talking to them that they hadn't met. His mum and dad hadn't even met when we started doing Red Dwarf. They were both still at school, and they now have a son who's really into Red Dwarf. So that generational thing is extraordinary. And I had a great one. It was last year. I was walking to a job in London, and a very young woman ran up to me and went, "Oh my God, you're Robert Llewellyn," which doesn't happen. It's very rare that women do that. And she said, "Can I do a selfie?" And I went, "Yeah, of course." And as she just before she took the selfie, she said, "My gran really loves you." So that selfie is me going. It wasn't her mum. I said, "Not your mum." "Oh yeah, my mum likes it, but my gran's obsessed."
Scene. Yes, madam.
Hi, my question is for Danny John-Jules, but I'd like to hear the other panel's opinions as well. Do you like cats?
Yeah, I love cats. Well, we always had a cat in the house when we were growing up. But I don't know. When I got the job, Rob and Doug gave me a book called Cat Watching by Desmond Morris, and which was pretty much where they did all the research for the character. And so I was lucky enough to read the exact same, research that they used. So I understood why he was writing that gag, because I could see where he'd drawn it from. So I was lucky that I had loads of research material. But when I was reading that, I realized how much I did like them and how much they were actually like me.
Do you use the behaviours of cats that you see to influence your character?
Well, absolutely, because I grew up all the time with cats in the house. So, and then once you kind of read the book, then you kind of can think back to, like little things like, everyone always wonders why they can't get the cat to stop scratching on the sofa. Do you know why they scratch on the sofa? Because they're shedding their claws. So the first time they ever shed their claws, which will probably be on your sofa, they'll always go back there. Even if you put a towel over it, they'll still go back and do it there. That's why they go back to the same place. See, I found that out reading the book Doug gave me. But I always used to, wonder, why do you keep coming back? You spray it with everything. It doesn't matter. They'll always go back there. The first time they shed their claws, wherever they do that, they'll go back there and do it every time. And like when when a cat sits on you and he's doing that, they push their paws on you. That's that's memory from when they were kittens teething the teat of the mother. See? So when they feel comfortable on your lap, that's what they do. Remember they do that before they sit down? They're just remembering sucking those titties. Which was one of my gags last week. Her flat ass titties.
Have we got time for one final question from Mr.
Marvel Man.
Hiya. I've been watching it since I was a kid, and thank you for the greatest experience of my life.
Oh, thank you.
But in the episode of the Holly Hop Drive, how was meeting your counterparts?
Now, you're going to have to fill in a few gaps for us there.
Is that parallel universe?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
With Holly and Hilly, the two listers, the two rimmers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was only meant to be in that one episode, actually. The
Susan British.
yeah, she was your.
Yes.
I wasn't there, but I remember.
She grabs your groin, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
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 That's what I remember.
Yeah. What was the name of the episode again?
Parallel universe.
Yeah, do you know, it was good fun. It was great. It was good fun, like any Red Dwarf. But you know, I will have to go down the road, despite the fantastic acting talent that was brought in to play our opposite numbers. It will go down as one of those shows that was
not his favourite.
Only excellent. In terms of it was fun. I don't think I have any particular memories. And Suzanne Beatty was a brilliant female rimmer. Can I have a bigger shovel, please? It was all right. I just don't remember much about it, to be honest with you. It was good fun, though.
It was the episode I came in on. Thank you very much. I was only meant to be in that one episode. They'd seen me on Friday Night Live, and I got a review that said I was like a female Norman Lovett because I was deadpan and didn't wave my arms around. And so they put me in that episode, and I was only meant to be in that one episode. And it wasn't meant to follow on. I had to audition to be Holly. It didn't follow on. There was no connection whatsoever. So it just happened to be shown after that. So that's my memories of Parallel Universe.
I think because it's 73 shows now, it's quite tricky to remember everything about all of them. So I hope, I know my answer has been totally inadequate, and I apologise for that. I'm hoping that Danny's probably going to find it on the machine now. This is Chris, this is what he did.
Your one was a dog. It's the last episode of Series 2 that was shown.
Oh, the dog.
Yeah.
Yours was a smelly dog. Everyone
the smelly
else
dog.
did.
That was a moment of.
I'm selling photos of that episode if anyone would like to come.
I think the guy who played the dog.
Yeah, he was great. The dog. I want to smell. You want to smell my what? But there was a look, you know. He's skipping down with the flowers, and there's. I did. Well, it was a risky move because if it didn't work, I'd have looked a right idiot. And I just stopped and looked over the camera, and then just eyes.
Very good. Yeah. Good.
We have to go, ladies and
ladies and gentlemen,
that is on a high.
Oh, look, yeah.
Let's end on a high.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That is all the time I have for our panel here today. Please give me a massive round of applause to Danny John-Jules, Chris Barrie, Hattie Hayridge, and Robert Llewellyn. And I think can we put the lights on, please? And everyone, quick, come back. Danny wants to do a giant video selfie. So come on. Can we have the house lights up, please, guys? They're just doing that now. I can see some fingers working away. There we go. Now they can see you. So come on, cheer, clap, make some noise. There you go.
Can I just borrow the mic a minute?
Yeah, you go for me.
I just want to send something to the Dominican High Commission about the hurricane. And I want you to. It's just saying in Creole in Dominica they say Sacafet, like SAKAFET, Sacafet Dominica. Yeah, that's like saying, you know, hello, that's, I'm going to send it to those people struggling out there.
Right, so let's have a rehearsal. 1, 2, 3, Saka Fed Dominica, right?
1, 2, 3, Saka Fed Dominica. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hold on, I've got to give it.
Cool, right.
Diction, darling. Right, hold on, let me run it.
1, 2, 3. Saka Fed Dominica.
On Twitter in about 5 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
retweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Danny John-Jules. And up next, we'll be joined by British TV and film legend, Mr. Warwick Davis, will be with us with Team Eugenius. You'll be able to find out all about that and about how you can find out and be a part of that. That'll be with us very, very soon.